Well, hello everyone. This is Dr. Ayleen, and this is, well, if you're listening on Blog Talk Radio, and if you're joining me on YouTube, then it is Healing How or Medicine Walk with Dr. Ayleen. So, hi everyone. It is there was an old saying that any day on this side of the lawn is a good one. And I'd say any day that the ceiling is still above my head is a good one. So this is a good day. And for those of you who are in the area or who are wondering, yes, I am still in my building. It has been supported to the level that it is safe. And so, or at least stabilized. And besides, my room did not take any damage. So I am still here, and I'm still seeing people here at the office. So thank you for your prayers. A lot of you have contacted me and said, that everything works out, and I'm really, really touched by that. It has been a crazy time. So a bit of good thought I am happy to take. And we have Terry guests. Yay. Hi Terry. Hello, great to be alive today. Yes, I absolutely agree, and I hope everything's going well for you. So I'll be putting on my glasses whenever I see a chat come in or a message come in, and please feel free to comment, and then we can go ahead and incorporate you into this discussion. Now I'm going to put my glasses on again because I have something that I would like to share. Now today we're talking about you have the right to an opinion, not the obligation. And we live in a huge world that is very much connected through the World Wide Webiverse. We can get opinions and hear the thoughts of people from all across the planet. And I want to share something with you. Now, between Blog Talk Radio and YouTube, here are the countries that have tuned in and watched episodes. United States, Canada, Norway, the UK, France, Germany, Bulgaria, Ghana, China, South Korea, Japan, Vietnam, Australia, New Zealand, Jamaica, Mexico, Egypt, Finland, Brazil, Algeria, Italy, Nigeria, India, Romania, Belgium, Spain, Lebanon, and Indonesia. So if you're from any of those places, first off, thank you so much for tuning in. And wherever it is that you're from, post a comment saying that, in the YouTube, or you can post on Blog Talk Radio. You can post a message to me saying that that you heard me. So welcome. It is so wonderful to have people from so many parts of the world who are listening in, and we're all experiencing this together, which is such an important thing, that we're experiencing this together. Now, people from all over those places all have different opinions, all have their own feelings, have their own belief systems. And one of the things I love when I meet people is hearing about other belief systems and hearing about ways that people, live in the world and walk in this world, and how they manage their problems and what they feel about the way the world is. And one of the things that I find the most fascinating about is that they are almost the ultimate expression of light and shadow in everything. Because while opinions on one hand can help bring us together and help us find that common ground, on the other side, they can be divisive, and they can be really something that inspires people to not want to have anything to do with each other. Now, I'm blessed to have friends who cover the entire spectrum. I have friends who are tremendously conservative and other friends who are tremendously liberal. I have, friends who are, tremendously spiritual in one tradition and others who are spiritually, focused in another tradition. The thing that we all love about each other is the fact that we can be able to communicate, because our belief systems, while they're a big part of us, they're not all of who we are. I may have a particular belief system, and I also love playing video games. Or, maybe someone has a particular political view, and yet we enjoy the same goofy old 1980s movies. When we think about an opinion, it's important to remember that that is that person's perspective. I'll give you an example. One time I was the keynote speaker at an event, and I was talking to someone, and we got on the subject of something that hadn't worked out quite right, and we had to, kind of not make it the way we wanted it to be, but it was good enough. So I made the comment, well, I guess, you just go with the lesser of two evils. And so this woman just kind of comes up to me, and I had never met her, and she really kind of got up in my face. And she said, there's no such thing as evil. And I thought, whoa, okay, this is random. And I mean, the first thing I thought was like, excuse me, if I wanted your opinion, I would ask for it. And frankly, you should at least ask my name and have me know yours before you come and try to overrun me with your viewpoint. That was the first thing I thought. It wasn't the first thing I said. And I waited, and I just kind of sat with a moment, and I looked at her and I asked her what her name was. And she told me. And I said, well, it's nice to meet you. And I have to go take a look at something, so I will talk to you later. So when I considered how I was going to respond, the reason I chose to not engage with her, which you have every right to do, that's that whole thing about everyone's, you have a right to everyone's opinion, but not an obligation. I looked at all of what she was expressing, not just her words, her body language, her energy, what was going on in her eyes. And what I got was that in that moment, that's what she needed to believe. That maybe something was going on in her life that she needed right then to believe, okay, I'm safe. Everything, it was like, this was a very intentional sort of statement. And the energy that she put behind it, it was like, whoa, okay, something's going on here. And so while I did not engage with the conversation, it wasn't up to me to change her reality, because apparently in that moment, that was the reality she needed. And when you're dealing with people, especially the people who give strong opinions, bottom line, more than likely they're saying, and I mean, when somebody doesn't feel safe, it's sad. I mean, for me it is. I mean, it really touches my heart when I'm looking at someone and it's like, wow, they really don't feel safe. So it's not up to me to change their perspective. It's not up to me to change their viewpoint, at least most of the time. I'm a firm believer in, if you ask my opinion, I will give you the honest and most direct opinion that I have. In this situation, on YouTube and on Blog Talk Radio, I give exactly what's in my heart. I tell you what I would tell you if I was sitting across from you. And in a way, I am. I mean, it's through a computer, but or through the radio or online. But I am giving you my heart. I am telling you exactly what I feel inside. And I think that is probably the best way to relate to people, is we talk from our heart. We speak our truth. And when you do that, and when you let someone else speak their truth, then there is a much greater chance that we're going to have that end of the spectrum on opinions that brings people together, that allows us to find that common ground. Because sometimes someone just needs to be heard. And, you know, have you ever been in a situation where somebody will say something and then somebody else will just jump in and say, well, but you know, and they automatically want to change your mind, or you watch them trying to change someone else's mind. And what does that usually do? That usually makes us dig in. That person automatically goes into a defensive mode. You know, well, my words are not being acknowledged or respected, so therefore, you know, I'm going to brace. And that's really not necessary. Really think that sometimes the best thing to say is nothing. If somebody is stating something that you're very opposed to, if you really feel that you have to say something, refer back to, there's a saying about when you're going to say something to someone. First, is it true? Second, is it necessary? Third, is it as kind as it can possibly be? And when you consider somebody stating an opinion about something, if you want to, I mean, I'm not saying you don't. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. If you really feel like you need to say something, if you really feel you need to engage in this opinion, then okay. Just keep in mind those three things. Is it the truth? You know, are you, you know, going to come at this person with fact and, you know, just not like, you know, a personal attack? Necessary. Understand you're probably not going to change their mind. If they're that adamant, you're not going to change their mind. So consider whether or not it's worth the oxygen you're going to expend to engage with this person, because more than likely it's going to become a back and forth thing and they're really not going to change their mind. Third, is it as kind as it could possibly be? No name calling. I always find it interesting when people, you know, they're engaged in something and then they fall into name calling. And I don't care who it is that you're directing it at. It's not necessary. It's not a part of a positive forward thing. And I know it's difficult. I know it's tough. We need to stay in that higher self, because when we go into name calling, for me, that means that we're tapping into that inner child, because that's the one who likes to name call. When we consider that inner child that is maybe is upset or is not feeling listened to or is not feeling acknowledged. So, you know, if we keep it in that place of, you know what, I want this to be a productive dialogue between two people where we might be able to find a meeting of the minds. One of my favorite phrases that I have used with people is, you know, I really don't understand why you feel the way you do, but I would like to. Could you explain it to me? This phrase opens up so much. It opens up an opportunity for dialogue, because honestly, if it's not about finding a greater level of understanding, then it's just a waste of oxygen. It's just two opposable forces meeting with each other and not really getting anywhere, because neither side is going to open their mind up. Neither side is going to offer anything new, anything that will enlighten and empower. And not just between the two of them, but to allow that to be what is witnessed by other people. If you're at a party and somebody just really wants to, you know, dig into something, then it's like, okay, you know what, this isn't the best environment for this, but, you know, I do want to understand your perspective. So if it's okay, I would like to hear your thoughts on this. And often that'll put somebody off. The other thing that will put off somebody who is like wanting to get into your face with an opinion is to just look at them. And in your mind, count like, 5 Mississippis. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. And if you spend the whole time looking at someone like, especially if they've gotten up in your face and just thrown in, an opinion at you, when you hold and just look at someone, and I mean look like right in their eyes, often they will back down, they'll back away. There's the saying that the eyes are the window to the soul. And if you just stand and look at someone and not respond, not engage, it'll put them off. It will, they won't quite know what to do with it because what they're expecting is to be engaged. So if you just look at them and then decide during that time, during those 5 Mississippis, consider, okay, what are the chances that anything I say will be accepted in a good way with this person? And more than likely not. More than likely, they're just going to, and then wander off. But it allows you to go into that place of choice. Choose whether you engage. Choose whether you are going to give validity to that opinion. Choose whether or not, you know what? Maybe this isn't this person's opinion as much as they don't feel safe, and this is the way that they're choosing to deal with it. The intensity behind their opinion could have absolutely nothing to do with the opinion itself. It could be that they've got something going on in their life and this is the outlet. They can't vent in any other direction, but they're going to vent here. And, truth, the tongue is sharper than the sword. Hi, Michelle, how's it going? So yeah, the idea that words hurt, they can, but they also heal. They have power. And it's not so much the words, but the energy that we have behind it. If somebody is like really kind of, being very intense in their opinion, when you pull back and just look at them and then just maybe say, are you okay? Are you all right? And that redirects the energy. So, and I'm not saying that if somebody really, brings up an opinion, if it's something that triggers you, if it's something that really creates a lot of intensity in you, that's something you can study. You can decide, do I want to match that energy, or do I want to step back and take a look at, wow, what is going on inside of me in this moment? Why has that person's words triggered something primal in me that means I don't feel safe? And a lot of times, if somebody triggers you, somehow they've woken up your insecure inner child, and that little one is not feeling safe. Yes, a healing balm in our words. And Michelle, who does Solace Mist, if there's anybody who knows about, healing aspects, it's her. She has done a lot of work around, and yes, this is going to be like a little bit of commercial, but, I truly admire her work. And I want to acknowledge it, that Solace Mist is something that I use in my office, and it really comes from a place of the heart. It's their aromatics, and it really is nice. So, I know she would never ask this of me, but I just want to say that, it really is wonderful stuff. And I do acknowledge the very hard work she does in producing it. So anyway, back to opinions. Now, I just stated an opinion. My opinion was that, I really get a lot out of this particular product. Now, you may agree with my opinion. You may disagree with my opinion. You can give it whatever weight that you choose. You can say, well, Dr. Ayleen seems to be, pretty sensible and, and reasonably knowledgeable in this area. So if she's utilizing something, then, maybe there's some value in it. Or you may disagree with me totally and say, well, I don't know. I don't embrace that stuff. It doesn't matter to me. I am just as happy, because when I stated my opinion, one, it was true, because that's true what's in my heart. Two, I feel it necessary that when somebody is doing something that is putting out something positive in the world, it's important to acknowledge it. And three, is it as gentle as possible, which it's not hard to be gentle around that. So let's talk about the opinion of the single most potentially irritating, off-putting, and devaluing voice that you could possibly hear. Your own. When you look in the mirror, when you're wondering if you're good enough, when you point out and you notice the flaws, you're expressing an opinion. If something happens and you go, man, I screwed up again, that's an opinion. That is an opinion that you're giving yourself. And once again, exactly what is that opinion? How is it being formed? It doesn't matter whether or not it's an opinion coming from outside or an opinion coming from, like right between your ears. Somewhere in your thoughts and your mind, you're being criticized. And whether that voice is perhaps an adult that was in your life when you were younger who told you that you were lousy at drawing pictures, or whether or not it was whatever the situation, tape is running, whatever old programming exists, that is an opinion that you have about yourself. And once again, you are not obligated to that opinion. It's good to take a look at it. When you have those self-deprecating thoughts, those thoughts that you're not good enough, everything has light and shadow. Even that aspect. I talk about the council. Well, that self-judgmental side is on your council, but it only has one vote. And like every other seat on the council, there's a light side and a shadow side to it. The light side of self-judgment, when held, is self-evaluation. The ability to look at yourself realistically. The ability to say, hey, you know what? Am I coming from ego in this? Am I coming from fear in this? Is the statement that I just made really my truth? Am I responding to something? Because that can be a way that we're able to keep ourselves in check. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. And that's the way we keep ourselves in check. Maybe we question, okay, well, what are my motives in this? What's my motivation? Am I coming from fear? Then, that can be really helpful. When it's just about dumping on yourself and trying to convince yourself that you aren't worthy, that no matter what you do, it's not going to work. It's like that old story about the two dogs fighting in your mind. One tells you you're excellent and wonderful and the best thing out there. The other one tells you you're hopeless, you're worthless, and you'll never amount to anything. And the question is, which dog is going to win in the fight that those two dogs are having? Well, the dog that wins is the dog you feed. So if you're thinking about, okay, what are the opinions, what are the thoughts that I'm feeding into about myself that are not productive for me? Are these thoughts moving me forward? Are these opinions that I am placing upon myself moving forward? Or are they holding me back from something? Now, every member of the council, whether it's love, anger, fear, your highest self, your lowest self, your self-judgment, they all want to keep the body safe, but they each have a different way of doing it. Fear wants to stay away from anything at risk, and that's how you stay safe. Anger wants to lash out and kick butt and just everything to stay safe. Love wants to open up to love because that's safe. And so judgment is, in a way, it's like fear. It's stay small, stay humble, and nothing can hurt you because you're below everybody's radar. Because if you start, being too big for your britches, then you could get hurt. You risk yourself. If you stay small and worthless, then nobody will think that you're threatening. And two, if you're small and helpless, then other people will take care of you. when you take a look at what is the motivation behind things, consider the fact, okay, even my opinion of myself, what is the source of that opinion? Always consider the source. If you've got somebody foaming at the mouth about some political opinion, consider the source, consider that person, consider the fear that they're in, because you can feel fear rolling off of them. When, you know, it's like the dog that's terrified will bark at everything. So even within yourself, consider the source. Consider what you're feeling inside. Who exactly on your council is criticizing you and is offering an opinion that does not, if that opinion is that you'll never achieve anything, that's not all of you voting that way. Your love doesn't vote that way. Your compassion doesn't vote that way. Your highest self certainly isn't voting that way. So who is trying to take the gavel, because you, the collective you, runs the council. You have the gavel, but who's trying to take it away? And deciding on what that part of you is saying, is it valid? Is it true? Because I'm pretty sure that in your heart, no matter how much, you know, it may be tempting to listen to that part of you that just wants to knock you down, how much of that is really true? Look into your heart. You're not a bad person. We all make choices, and some of those choices are definitely better than others. But even if you can't believe you're not a bad person, I believe you're not a bad person. I believe that you are a wonderful person who's out there doing the best they can. And until you believe in you, I will believe in you. And I don't care that I don't know you. I don't care which one of those countries you're in. I don't care what your life circumstance is, and I don't care what you've done or what you haven't done. I believe in you. Know that you are able to move past it. Whatever it is, it may not be easy. It may be really tough. And if it is, you know that my thoughts are with you. But you can do this. You can step past opinion because you're not obligated to it, even your own. Said about sitting and looking in someone's eyes, because that's a window to the soul. Try doing that into a mirror. What do you see? Don't focus on the first level of opinion, of criticism. Look deeper. Keep looking. Keep looking. Because what's inside is something amazing. You are an amazing creature. We are made of the stuff of stars. We have an infinite potential to create change in the world, and we're doing that. There's a lot of people out there doing that and making change, and it's okay that people don't all have the same opinion. I'm very happy we don't all have the same opinion, because then it would make it really tough to learn anything. So reach out. And if an opinion is valid, if it resonates with you, great. If it doesn't resonate with you, let it go. It's not yours to deal with. If somebody is throwing an opinion at you and you don't want to engage in it, you can just say, you know what? I don't wish to discuss that, and I will not discuss that with you, and turn around and walk off. It's okay. My opinion, and you're under no obligation to accept this, but I hope you do, is that you're pretty cool, and you're amazing, and you're learning, and you're moving forward. And every person has that within them. And we can all learn to play nice by appreciating opinions, by accepting that they're not necessarily going to be the same, but we can still have fun together anyway. And we might even learn a little something on the way. Accept the opinions that make sense. Accept the opinions that resonate. The rest, you have no obligation to accept. So, thank you for joining me. Blog Talk and for those here on YouTube. And as I said, if you are from one of these other countries, then please send me a note, send me a comment. I would love to hear from you. And if you would like to ask me any questions, or if there's a topic that you'd like me to cover, then please get in touch with me and I will do my best to address it. So you can like, share, comment, and subscribe. I love when people subscribe. And we are building a community, and all the folks who are on the Facebook page, Medicine Walk with Dr. Ayleen, go ahead and subscribe. This is your community. You know, this isn't mine. This is ours. This is something we're building. And we're going to change the world. One person at a time, one spirit at a time, one experience at a time, and we start. And that's the cool part, because you're tremendously important. So you can follow me on Twitter. You can go to the Facebook page, Medicine Walk with Dr. Ayleen. You can listen on Blog Talk Radio. Just look up Healing House Radio with Dr. Ayleen. Or, you know, you can join me each week right here on YouTube. And if you would like a sponsorship program that is available through Patreon. And so down in the description for this episode, you'll see the link. So you can go there, and if you would like, you can sign up to sponsor me. And it could be as little as $1 a month. And, you know, there are different rewards for what you pledge. And what it does is that, you know, I'm going to get some better equipment and microphones and all kinds of stuff. So that's a part of this building process. And if you do, awesome. If you can't, that's cool. Just listen in. So anyway, until next week and until next time, I wish you balance and I wish you blessings from my heart to yours. I love you. Bye-bye.